I know where there's some, right here in the hall, clerk.
No, Molly, not in there. I have
Hi there, and welcome back to the RPC Airmaster at long last. We're going to finish up the cabinet in this episode and do the first power-up. So here you see first the cabinet in all of its non-glory getting ready for the final coat of perfect brown, and then here's the result. It turned out pretty well. I'm very pleased with the colors, the perfect brown around it's kind of like piping almost around the edge, and it turned out well. I think it's a nice looking cabinet. This is the cabinet all refinished. It's a couple of coats of shellac followed by stain, dark walnut stain on top, and this actually isn't stained at all. And then the edges are done in perfect brown, as is the grill and this opening for the dial. However, since I don't have a closed off shop, it's open in the air, it feels dusty, and it probably is. And it has this hard, even though that's semi-gloss, it has this hard sheen that I don't care for much. My favorite radio that I ever saw cabinet restored was down in Aurora, Oregon. A guy had done it, just glowed. It was just something you wanted to touch. And I wish I'd had the sense to ask him how he did it, but I didn't at the time. Crow. There's a guy who has a website, Thomas Johnson Antique Furniture Restorer. I'll add the link below. Tom Johnson, I think he's third generation restorer, but anytime he refinishes, he always goes over it with Howard's Feed and Wax. It's beeswax and orange oil with steel wool. So I'm going to try that. And the point is to knock the sharp edges down, to knock a little bit of the hard-looking part of it down. That's particularly true on the grill. It looks too shiny to me. And to give it that kind of glowy flavor. So what you do is you just pour some of this stuff on your steel wool and very lightly go over it, and then buff it down with a clean cloth. So we'll try it. It even sounds softer. You don't hear as many peaks on there. And of course you don't want to buff the finish away, but you do want to go with the grain. A little bit more. Smells good too. Alright. I'll let that stand for 20 minutes and then wipe it off, see how it looks. Okay, let's see how it turns out. Oops. Oh, that's nice. Much smoother, more satiny finish that I wanted. And as Tom Johnson says, I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks nice. Here's the solution I came up with for this potentiometer. Is the new one. They're both the new one. But that has the wrong end on it. The shaft length is short too by about 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. And it doesn't have this splined and split end that the knob will fit onto. So what I decided to try was getting a couple of, I forget what you call these. They're steel tubes with a Allen screw in one side, and what I did was score the space, the sides in between these two, and then apply some JB weld, and these are a 1/4 inch inside diameter, as are the shafts. And so what I'm going to do is put these two together, and tighten it down, and the length should be right, and that'll put that end out where it needs to be. So let me get this one tightened on. There. That looks pretty good, and the length up there, and the length is just right. So these are right up even with each other. So that's good. Larry asked if there was going to be enough clearance for the cabinet to handle this, and the answer is yeah. There's wood that goes around this. This is where the dial touches, so it's quite a gap in here. And the wood will come up to about here. So that shouldn't be a problem at all. So I will rewire that and pull in the power off the old switch, and we'll start again. Okay, what I've done is move the voltmeter to the filament string, I think on the 75 tube here, that H signal. So I have filaments going, I have the lights, front dial lights are working. Let me shut these off. Front dial lights are working. I've got filament here, here, and so yeah, way down in the 82. Yep. So it looks like I've got power. I've got a slight glow on the dim bulb tester. I can't tell whether I should set this up so I can measure some current. I'll do that. I can't tell right now whether it's drawing a huge amount of current or not. So I'll set that up and we'll check back in. Okay, you can't read this, but this is telling me that I'm drawing about 370 milliamps. 10 watts. $120 volts, and of course going through the dim bulb tester too. So 370 milliamps, 10 watts. It's about right. I think what I'll do is, since nothing is torching, I haven't turned it up yet. I hear a slight hum in the speaker. So I think I'll switch over to remove the dim bulb from the circuit and we'll see what all this does then. I'm on pin 2 of the 41 tube right here, which should give me the B+ measure. And I've got the dim bulb tester out. I've got this kind of cheesy watt meter here. I'll monitor the amperage it's going through. And we'll start the variac at 0 and go up again. Let's see how it goes. 25 volts. Power on the radio. Dim glow in the dial lights. Ah, look at this. Generating some DC. That's not bad. 124 volts B+, 125 and climbing at 50 volts. Go to 75. According to this meter, we're doing 16 milliamps at 75 volts. Oh, look at the B+ dropping back off again. Of course, that may have been a delayed inrush. Go to 100 volts. .8 watts. No, 43 watts, sorry. That's at 96 volts in. And B+ holding steady at 192. We'll go to okay. And a slight noise from the speaker. .7 watts. And 21 volts. 42 milliamps. Okay. And I can hear, let me take this off. I can hear hum from the yeah. Wish I had an external mic, but this is humming. There's no antenna on here yet, so no surprise that not picking up anything. Tone works, squeaks, but it works. I'm having volume control, so the output stage is partially functional. I don't have a clue whether there's any input or not. Well, I know there isn't. It's just sitting here with no antenna at all. But that's encouraging. All right. So what I'll do next is just let it cook for a little bit. Make sure it isn't melting. Oh, one thing I forgot was I might have to push this. The other thing I failed to test was the finger test on the grids of these two tubes. So we'll hear what we hear. Okay. That suggests to me it's capable of a lot more volume than it's putting out right now. Alright, got some issues, but no surprise. It's not very loud, so what I'll do is I'll shut the camera off. We'll go in here and make a bunch of voltage checks. Make sure the B plus is getting to all the tubes. I expect it probably is. And then I'll figure out how to make sure the oscillator is oscillating. I'll probably hang the scope off of it and check that. And if I do that, I'll make a video of it. Alright, that's all for now. It's not smoking.